Okay, folks, we're going to play about a minute and a half clip with Mark Dice, author of Big Brother, The Orwellian Nightmare Come True. His new book available at Infowars.com, where he tried to go to a California Taco Bell with a $1,400 pure U.S. Eagle legal tender $50 gold coin. That's what its face value is, but it's worth $1,400 in real numbers. And for two tacos totaling $2, and they did not want the gold coin. He tries to give the gold coins away, and people don't want them. They seem to be afraid of them. And even the Wall Street Journal reported when private money becomes a felony offense, that's the Wall Street Journal, producer of Liberty Dollars is found guilty, and they said he is a domestic terrorist. The Southern Poverty Law Center hailed it and said that they had called him a domestic threat before, and they're very glad that he's been convicted of doing something totally legal. And did we ever find the article I mentioned of the man arrested for using $2 bills at Best Buy? I want to, put that on screen once he gets up here. We're going to Bernard von Nothaus here in just a moment. But first, let's play this Mark Dice clip.
Dice, and I'm at the Taco Bell drive-thru right now, where I'm going to try to purchase my 99-cent taco with a 1-ounce gold coin worth about $1,400. This is an American Eagle gold coin. It's legal tender for $50. It's a $50 coin, but the gold content is worth now about $1,400, and of course it's ludicrous to try to spend one of these anywhere for the $50. And the point is, of course, to show that most people have no idea what gold is worth or anything. Hopefully the people at Taco Bell won't. Otherwise, this is going to be the most expensive taco in history.
Hey, it's 108.
All right. How about a 1-ounce gold coin? Accept 1-ounce gold coins at Taco Bell?
Is this how much it's?
So 1 ounce.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
You don't think so? Well, here, I have a couple of Federal Reserve notes. Would you rather have these instead?
Yes.
Okay.
You should keep that as collection.
Who needs a 1-ounce gold coin these days, you know? That's a good point. Who needs... I should keep that as a collection, she said.
Any hot sauce?
No, thanks.
Okay. Here
Great.
you go.
Awesome.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Oh, boy. Well, thankfully, she thought it was best that I keep my 1-ounce gold coin. Obviously, having no idea what it's worth. And I don't know if it picked up the audio, but I asked, would you rather have these, $2 bills? Would you rather have these two $1 bills? And she said yes.
All right. Now, we're joined by Bernard von Nothaus, who for more than 15 years, that's how long I've seen the gorgeous gold and silver coins out there, publicly saying the dollar's going to be devalued. We need to get alternative currencies going. Montana's moving ahead. South Carolina, with their state legislatures to issue their own currencies. Dozens of cities for hundreds of years, and currently in the U.S., have their own script that are used and accepted by businesses. When you go to a Dave & Buster's or something to eat dinner and play video games with your children, or basketball or foosball, you give them cash and they put it on a digital card. That's a way of transferring or barter. But even the Wall Street Journal said, wow, this jury didn't know anything. And they said when private money becomes a felony offense, this is very dangerous. We'll also put on screen, I see these reports every few months, if you at Putt-Putt Golf or at Best Buy, you happen to get some $2 bills with Declaration of Independence on the back, you go try to buy it, they arrest you, and you go to jail, and then they continue to charge you. And they've got juries ready to send you to prison. And because once they arrest you, they can't say they're wrong. And expanding on this, they went on to say, and we'll go through the court filing, that he is a terrorist. So it's not only counterfeiting to publicly say we have an alternate silver and gold currency, but it is illegal, I guess, to then criticize the Federal Reserve. We had Peter Schiff on earlier, who's very worried about this, and Ron Paul earlier, the congressman, was on with us, saying that he's concerned about him coming after gold and silver. And the canary in the coal mine was Bernard von Nothaus. And he's now been convicted. They're trying to confiscate $7 million of other people's silver and gold that they'd already bought and he was sending to them. Bernard, good to have you on with us.
It's a pleasure, Alex.
Well, I've never talked to such a rascally criminal before. I interviewed you many years ago. You run other big, private, very popular collector coin mints. Tell us what happened and how you're the evil terrorist now.
Well, just to clarify about the terrorist thing, Alex, first, well, I'm not evil, but I am unique. That's what Ann Tompkins referred to me as. I am a unique terrorist. And the reason I would have to be a unique terrorist, even in her book, is because when you look at the different elements that make up the charge of terrorism, violence is one of the requirements. So if I have never shown any violence, I've not had any history of violence, there's no violence at all. So for them to charge me with terrorism, I would have to be not only unique, but they would have to bring out a whole brand new law. So this is a lot of saber rattling on the part of the government. Because I'm not a terrorist, but they sure in hell would like for me to.
And by the way, briefly tell us your history. I remember decades ago seeing your TV ads on. There's many other companies, but you had one of the most prominent. It was the Hawaiian Mint, correct? Putting out other collector coins. I mean, thousands of companies do this.
Oh, yes, right. I was the co-founder of the Royal Hawaiian Mint. That was 36 years ago. So I have a long history of deviant counterfeiting operations, Alex.
But I mean, wait a minute. I see commemorative coins all the time for Obama put out by, again, how many private mints are there out there? I mean, this is not illegal, but I guess now it is.
No, it's not illegal, and I wasn't a counterfeiter the last 36 years either. I was just joking about that, Alex.
Of course.
There is, well, a loose number, but around a dozen or so, give or take, a few on each side. But there's a dozen, maybe 15 private mints in the United States. And the Royal Hawaiian Mint was a private mint, was one of the private mints.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. When did you start the Liberty Dollar? When did, I know a few years ago they came after you. Now they've, quote, convicted you. But I've seen people convicted for illegal firearms as well because some of these juries aren't too informed. But, I mean, let's break down what's happened to you. Are you going to jail? Are you appealing? Where is this going?
Yeah, ditto on all those. Just to give you a real quick scenario, Liberty Dollar was first issued on October 1st, 1998. At the time that there was a $10 silver Liberty, they were $7.50. The highest that has ever sold for on eBay, not to me, but somebody else bought one for $7.50. It went for $825 for 1 ounce silver Liberty.
No, I routinely see them for a couple $100 on there. Now, my memory serves, you put out some earlier silver coins, because I remember there was an earlier incarnation of this in like the mid-90s that I got from you.
Nope, not like this.
But you were putting out coins before, though, so it must have been one that was similar.
I never have put out a coin because a coin is something issued by the government.
A round.
Well, we like to call them silver liberties because round is kind of like calling you hey. And you probably wouldn't like me to call you hey, would you, Alex?
Okay, well, you've got the floor, then. Break down the intricacies of all of this.
What do you mean by that? Just,
I mean, the most important info for folks to know of what's happened to you.
Well, what's happening is that they raided Liberty Dollar. They confiscated everything. They arrested me and they convicted me. And they're trying to abscond with 9 tons of gold, silver, and platinum and copper. And the vast majority of that, the way vast majority of that, matter of fact, almost all of it, is property owned by other third parties, either people who ordered products from Liberty Dollar and the orders weren't fulfilled because we were raided, or products that they bought in terms of digital and paper warehouse receipts, and they confiscated the gold and silver that backs that up. So if people really want to take action, then they should be emailing me, Bernard@libertydollar.org, and ask for the form that they need to send back to me from them identifying themselves as interested parties. Otherwise, the bottom line is the government's going to steal your property. So, Alex, if you have any of those paper warehouse receipts, you should send me an email. I'll send you a quick little email back that you can then respond to me and identify yourself as an interested party.
And to be clear, I actually do have some of those somewhere in my office, because it was not only silver and gold coins, but just like other alternative currencies do, you also had receipts 100% backed up in silver and gold, and it was catching on. But if they tried to scare everybody away from this by going after you, they're failing because of Montana, South Carolina, and other states moving to issue their own currencies.
Well, it isn't just states either, Alex. There's a lot of different people within the movement. Rob Gray with AOCS, who has introduced a whole line of currency which is extremely similar to the Liberty Dollar. There are half a dozen other different people who have introduced currencies that are similar to the Liberty Dollar. So the animal is really quite large. And then if you look at the collector Liberty Dollars on eBay, there's anywhere from 400 to 500 different types of Liberty Dollars on eBay, which go anywhere from a few dollars to $20,000 or so. You know, there's a wide range in terms of Liberty Dollars.
Well, how dare you? How dare you issue collector liberties? Now, where is this going? Give us the time frame. When are you going to jail? Tell us about the trial itself.
I am going to jail. Well, I think I'm going to jail. I don't know. It's really up to the judge. You know, I've never been a criminal before, so I don't know how I'm supposed to behave. But the sentences could range from 0 to 15 years. And I don't know where that's going to be. I'm in what is called a pre-sentencing period right now, and the government's working on a pre-sentencing report for me, which will influence the length of my sentence, and then ultimately it will be up to the judge. So the judge could make it anywhere from 0 to 15 years. I have no idea what it's going to be.
How did the judge behave in the case?
I think the judge did a very honorable job. I don't have any complaints with the judge. His rules and his rulings were straightforward. They weren't always in my favor. They weren't always against me either. I think the judge did an honorable job.
Have you had any pre-sentencing hearings yet? Are the feds asking for stiff jail time for your terrorism?
Well, they can't ask for anything for terrorism because I wasn't convicted for terrorism.
They're just calling you a special type. Yeah. I'm being sarcastic, of course.
Unique. Don't forget, unique. Well, no, they haven't put up anything yet, but all that will be put in the pre-sentencing report. And, of course, that's just in its early stages right now.
Well, tell us about the trial. Tell us about the people involved.
Well, the trial consisted of only 8 days, unfortunately. The government, which was going to last about at least a week, they folded after 2 days. There was only 2 days of the prosecution. That was it. They folded so quickly that we asked the judge for a day to recover and to get things organized because they were going to do for a week and 2 days. I mean, and the judge granted us the motion to give us more time to get our case together. Unfortunately, my attorneys relentlessly whittled away at the defense and packaged it up, much to my disagreement, within only about 4 days. That was it. We started out with 112 witnesses. The judge approved 82 witnesses, which is huge, and we ended up with 8 witnesses.
How could you be convicted of counterfeiting when you never said that this was U.S. government currency? You were talking down that currency, as evidenced by the devaluation now happening of the dollar, and that this was an alternative private currency. I mean, there's so many private currencies that'll make your head spin. I mean, this the Wall Street Journal is saying this has set a very dangerous precedent.
I totally agree with you. And the thing is that the chief counsel for Norfed and the Liberty Dollar testified. He was the first witness to testify. He testified for over half a day and gave me an ironclad reliant defense, otherwise known as good faith defense, because everything I did was under his guidance and with his permission. So he told me that what I was doing was not illegal. So in spite of that, the jury came back and found me guilty. How is that possible? I don't know. I'm not guilty. I'm still not guilty, but I have been found guilty by the jury, but not by the popular press. Even AP and Wall Street Journal, everybody's pretty amazed. You look at the feedback on the different articles. If you go to the Yahoo page, and
it's 98% on your side. I've never seen anything like it. I think they're really revealing themselves as tyrants. But what about this jury? I mean, did these people did they have 10 fingers, 10 toes? I mean, could they talk?
They talked enough to get appointed to the jury, yes. And there were 9 guys and 3 women. And, yeah, Alex, I don't know how it happened. My attorneys were shocked. I'm a little shocked myself. I'm facing 15 years. How could I be convicted of this? I had reliant defense. I never had any criminal intent. They didn't prove any
Well, you've been doing
intent.
it for what, 12, 13 years?
This is the 13th year. Yes, sir.
Unlucky year. Well, I mean, as Peter Schiff said, as Ron Paul said, this is all setting a very dangerous precedent for everybody. I mean, Wall Street Journal says, well, this has always been legal, but if they can find juries, I mean, what next? Is having a ham sandwich going to be punishable by 15 years? Is having black hair going to be illegal? Is walking your dog going to be illegal? I mean, if they can do this, well, they were scared of you. I mean, I want to talk about why you think they came after you and how we can help you. Bernard von Nothaus is our guest. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. Insult to injury, Bernard von Nothaus has also had his website and his First Amendment taken away under court order, so he's, I guess, not allowed to do that and tell people his side of the story. But clearly, even the mainline media is freaked out by this. And if we go back to 1933, when they ordered everybody to turn their gold in, and they sold it to Europe and doubled the price, if we put up with these crooks, there's no end to what they'll do. And they've got an army of hand-picked juries that will put Mother Teresa behind bars. Bernard, your comments. Bernard, your comments.
Alex?
Yes, sir. I know you're having trouble hearing us. So where do we go from here?
Well, I think people should certainly protect their purchasing power by getting gold and silver. And while I was convicted of the Liberty Dollar, people could certainly band together to do something else. You know, the government was very specific in their case, and so they charted an interesting path. I don't know if anybody else is going to go down that path after I get sentenced or not, but certainly with hyperinflation on the horizon, Alex, people have to take action.
Well, you've certainly been proven right, and so has Ron Paul. Expanding on that, bottom line, they came after you to create a chilling effect, to scare people away from alternate currencies.
Well, that's certainly been the effect. There's no doubt about that. But the bottom line, and Ron Paul actually mentioned this on the floor of the Congress, and that was that the government felt threatened. And quite frankly, Alex, I don't have such airs of that, to be honest with you. I find it unbelievable that this government would be threatened by anything or anyone, particularly a kickback surfer dude like myself from Hawaii. But evidently the idea of individual creating his own currency and the enormous popularity that it enjoyed, the government must have felt threatened. They had to do something.
Well, sir, now they're coming out saying they want to restrict free speech. I mean, they are threatened by any form of liberty.
Oh yes, and that was the really damaging thing, or the threatening thing about being a unique terrorist, because in that sort of situation, Alex, they can take the word terrorist and tailor it to anything they want or they need for a particular situation, including yourself, Alex.
Oh, I know. They're using the Patriot Act now against marijuana, family violence. A lot of the media is saying maybe I need to be censored, maybe I'm a terrorist. No, these people are authoritarian despots and are very dangerous. And any idea on when the sentencing is coming back up? Because I'd like to interview you again.
Well, we don't know for sure, but it takes about 2 months to do the pre-sentencing report, and so that would be happening during April and May, so I might be sentenced in June would be a guesstimate on my part.
Did they threaten you to keep your mouth shut or anything?
They meaning the government?
Yes, our lords.
No, they haven't had any contact with me at all, and that wouldn't be proper for them to do.
And are the feds proud of what they're doing, though? I mean, are they feeling good about this?
They must be. I mean, they got the conviction that they wanted, and they duped the jury into convicting me. If they're not happy, and I'm not happy, damn, there's something wrong with this crazy. Somebody's supposed to come out of every deal being happy,
Well, I guess they're pleased. America is imploding and dying right now, so their job is going quite well for them, but America is waking up. In closing, is there an address, a phone number where people can support you or contact you, Bernard von Nothaus?
Yes. The only way to reach me right now is even the phones are on automatic. The only way to really reach me is through my email address, which is bernard@libertydollar.org. That's really the only way.
Bernard, thank you so much.